I did everything I ever wanted to do. It's been an interesting journey. And it's still going on.
It's anticipation of, more good things to come. And you don't take it for granted. You still appreciate every minute you have up here together as a family. It's awesome.
This is our gift to generations.
A toast to me. Yesterday I took a nice long drive by myself. Coffee at a cute place in Ironwood, followed by Walmart. Always an adventure. It was a beautiful, cool morning and time to reflect on 50. The first thought that came to my mind was gratitude. I will. To so many. My parents for giving me the gift of faith and knowing what and who God is and how deeply that has shaped my life. Also to my parents for this place, my solitude and escape from the harshness of life. Then to my husband, who God put in my life when I was not looking at all. And what a journey we have had the past almost 25 years. There is no one on earth I could ever love more and be more thankful for always making me laugh and stick by my side. On my way home, I stopped by the cemetery to visit Shithead, aka my brother, who still to this day pisses me off by one stupid decision, but who I have no doubt at all that God needed as an angel more than I needed as a brother. I'm thankful for my sister, who we have gone through loss and life with, and who's always been my best friend. We've cried and laughed our way through life on a daily basis, and for that I am so blessed and thankful. For my friends, new and old, who are a joy to spend time with and make so many memories with. When I looked at Facebook today, it was so heartwarming to think of each friend and what time of life we met. I'm grateful for extended family, my awesome niece, nephews, and others with us still, and those that are no longer are with us. And my greatest accomplishment that brings gratitude isn't my Rolex from my working days, but my children. How lucky am I to be blessed to be their mom and watch and cheer them on in life. So cheers to gratitude for the years I've had and the years to come. Okay, I'm almost done. I am blessed and thankful from the bottom of my heart for each and every one of you.
My name is Penny Elizabeth Klotz. I was born June 16th, 1945. I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois.
My name is Bernie. I was born February 1st, 1943. I grew up in Wauwatosa, small, lower middle class family. Went to Catholic grade school, Catholic high school. Pretty much held a job from 8th grade on. Oh, I had many jobs. I cleaned the bottle chutes at the local tavern. I stocked shelves at the local pharmacy. I had a lot of snow shoveling and grass cutting jobs, but most of the time it was working at the pharmacy and at the tavern.
I went to a Catholic grade school in Chicago, St. William, and then I went to an all-girls Catholic high school, Trinity High School in River Forest. And then I went to an all-women's Catholic college in Dubuque, Iowa, which is where I met my husband, Bernie, and he was at the local all-male Catholic college in Dubuque, Iowa. So it was, we were strong in our faith, and it was, as a result of all the upbringing we had in the schools we went to. And I loved every minute of it. It was great.
I had been engaged to somebody else, and the engagement broke up, and I found myself with the ring and at the Cavalier Tavern in downtown Butte. It's rumored that I was standing on the table. There were some girls from Clark there, and they needed a ride back to their dormitory. So I offered to give them a ride back to the dormitory. One of those was Penny, and I guess maybe the next week we got set up for a date and went out, and
That was it. The wedding was August 6th, 1966. Gorgeous, club in Chicago, and invited a couple, 200-300 people, and they came, and it was really quite nice. We came up to the cabin for our honeymoon, and we stayed for a week, and it was great. It was nice.
right after we got married, I was off to the service, and came home from the service and started a family. I was in the reserves. I was very fortunate. I ended up being stateside. The company, I was in a battalion headquarters, and the battalion company got called up, went to Vietnam, and sustained.
Yeah, many of them didn't get to come home. But there was a real crucial 24 hours that we thought he was going, and we both had one too many martinis that night. So when we found out the next morning that he really wasn't going to go, it was, God-given.
9/11 almost wiped out our company. At that time, we had 18 caravans, 3 small jets, 5 piston-engine airplanes, all of which were in the air on charter and or freight hauling. And of course, at 9/11, it shut everything down, so all of those were stuck all over the country. Northwestern Children's Hospital and or Mayo was a target of one of our airplanes, and we leased the airplane to the person that was buying it. So it was part of the terrorist organization that was trying to buy that. We were summoned to Washington, D.C. by the FBI and the Secret Service to review all sorts of information, and we found out that there was just thousands of terrorists in the country that just disappeared right after 9/11. So 9/11 was quite an experience for us. We had the FBI, the Secret Service, all over our place going through all sorts of documentation and everything to try to piece things together. It will be interesting if they do ever release some of that information to see how we might have fit into it.
I think our family unit that we experience now is much stronger than the family unit as I was growing up. We are really close. Every really centered around family, and everybody is very aware of how close and tight we are.
But we have a lot of traditions now.
There was a story in Minocqua when we first bought the cabin that had specialty stuff. And my dad decided he was good there. He had a set of dishes in there that were hand painted, different kinds of birds. These dishes were beautiful, really good china, hand painted, and all the pieces all matched for the place setting. And so my dad finally got all 12 of them bought one every year for my mom. And then we used those for Thanksgiving, and it was great. We kind of follow the dishes and have Thanksgiving wherever the dishes are. We came up to Wisconsin as a family for, I remember renting a place on Jag Lake for a month every year. And then my mom and dad, eventually wanted to retire and have a place up here. And my mom would go off and go looking every time she was up here, and finally came across this place. And it was this little original logger's log cabin. And it was, the cabin itself from the logging industry goes back to 1881. They could date it that long because the logs were vertical instead of horizontal like they are now. But, that was back in 1963. And
it was called the Willow because his name was Willard, Will, and her name was Lois. That's how the Willow came. So right after the summer that we took it over, we had put an addition on, and Penny and I were laying in the addition, and a carpenter ant fell out of the ceiling and hit Penny in the head in the middle of the night. And that was the end of the old cabin and the beginning of the new. We then built this.
Which was on the cover of Log Home Living one.
Yeah.
But really kind of exciting.
I mean, for all the kids, they've all been great. But I think that being able to watch them grow up here in the environment in Winchester, they all enjoyed the water. They enjoyed themselves.
It's amazing the effect of family life and family unity, and how much it's influenced the kids, the grandkids, and how much they appreciate family unity and what we do together. We take a Christmas card picture every year, and started in 1973. So as we get to next year, we've done a Christmas card picture every year for 50 years. So it's quite everybody just cannot wait to find out what color they have to wear next year.
I think if you asked all the grandchildren what this place represents, I think they'd say it's a safe house.
And I think the hands-on nature experience up here too is really key. They've learned how to do stuff they enjoy. I mean, like fishing and ice fishing and water skiing and all kinds of things that they experienced up here, being in this environment that has changed their lives. And you don't take it for granted. You still appreciate every minute you have up here together as a family. It's awesome.
This is our gift to generations. The four of us and actually the five of us, we lost a son.
Why don't you go around once, Brian? Brian, you look mighty fine.
Are you playing it?
That's Brian falling. One of the many times he does fall. I'm glad I caught it this time on camera. He'll deny it, of course.
He'll say it's your fault.
Yeah, he'll probably say it was my fault because I was holding the camera too close to him.
And he didn't want to get it wet.
Yeah, there he is falling again. That's two in one time.
You are?
With a smile on his face. Smile, Brian.
lost him up here. He was coming home from a water skiing and a party, and nobody really knows what happened. There's a lot of armchair quarterbacks thinking of it, but something happened about 5 driveways down from here, and missed the turn and didn't have the seatbelt on, which was because he had just talked to somebody down the road. You don't put your seatbelt on to drive down the driveway. And went off the road and down the gully, and his head hit the rear view mirror, broke his neck, and he died. But that was a dark day. I think we all lived in shock for a long time. And it rethought my work. Brian wanted the company. Brian just absolutely loved the company. He'd sneak out, a big airplane would fly over, and next thing you know, he'd be sneaking out of school and come over and help fuel it. And he really enjoyed it, and I had just bought him an airplane. We have a strong faith, and our faith carried us through, and our family carried us through, and we miss him dearly, but we've made it.
A number of years later, when they re-satellite, the map for the whole area up here, if you had more than one house, 2 houses on a road, you got to name the road. So the Brian C. Klotz Parkway sign that I had became our driveway and our subsequent, address. That's how the Brian C. Klotz Parkway address came into being.
He was pretty well known in the industry, and at the gravesite, I looked up and there was a helicopter, and I figured something's up. And all of a sudden, Lima, which flew P6s, that came, and they all had yellow trainers, and they came with the guy in the middle flying a P-51, which was Krebs Almighty, and they came in formation and then did the missing man formation and over the gravesite. It was pretty cool. We didn't know it. They were doing it. But they did it in honor of Brian. And we never stopped talking about, Brian. We've talked about him all the time. He was, the grandkids know all about Uncle Brian. So maybe it was the super glue that helped hold this whole family together. We have had just a unbelievable journey to where we are today. Just unbelievable. You work your way through hardship, and it makes you stronger. And you can't say that's a bad time, because you have to take a lesson on every hardship that you have. And if you do that, then it doesn't become a hardship, it becomes a learned lesson for the future. Losing Brian was a hardship, but it was a learning experience. And when we turned it into a learning experience, when we set up the scholarship fund and everything, it became a family. We overcame the hardship and said, look at what good we did with it. Again, because our faith said, we're going to be reunited someday. So it's pretty good deal. I hope that the world could become a better place than it is today, and that our children and grandchildren have the opportunity to grow up in a more peaceful, wonderful world. This is kind of a mess. And I think that's why we've worked so hard to create what we have here. But what a life. Again, go back, it's just been blessed. Just been blessed. I'm just so happy that I feel so good, and I think I'm going to live, God forbid anything, for quite a while, and I get the opportunity to watch my 4 grandchildren grow.
I want to see my grandchildren. I want to dance at all my grandchildren's weddings.
We know how fragile life can be, but and as you think your way through all of that, I look at everybody here and say, it's okay. It's okay. My statement would be, if you give back, you get back. And you get back a hell of a lot more than you give. We've been on vacation since we were married. I mean, we worked in between and we worked hard, but we've had a great life. Great. I got no complaints. Yeah. It ended tomorrow, it's okay. That's no complaints.